The greatest among you will be your servant. Matthew 23:11. Every year on Holy Thursday, a quiet ritual unfolds somewhere in the heart of the Christian world. A basin, a towel, a pair of trembling worn feet, and the Pope, the spiritual leader of over 1 billion Catholics, bending down to wash and kiss them. This was not just pageantry. For Pope Francis, it was the purest expression of his faith. The tradition of washing feet dates back over 2000 years ago to a room in Jerusalem, where Jesus gathered with his disciples for what would become the Last Supper. There, he did something shocking. He knelt before his followers, took their dusty, sand-worn feet in his hands, and washed them like a servant. If I, your Lord and teacher, have washed your feet, you also should wash one another's feet. John 13:14. In ancient Jewish culture, foot washing was a task reserved for slaves or for the lowliest household servant. For Jesus to do it was an inversion of power, a lesson in humility, service, and love. In the centuries since the rituals have survived, particularly in Catholic, Orthodox, and some Protestant traditions, usually performed on Holy Thursday during the week before Easter. When George Mario Bergoglio became Pope in 2013, he brought with him a radically human approach to the religion. The first Latin American Pope, the first Jesuit Pope, the first non-European Pope in over 1200 years. And from his very first Holy Thursday, he changed everything. Instead of priests in Vatican robes, he washed the feet of Muslim migrants, women, prisoners, drug addicts, and even atheists. He didn't stay in the grandeur of St. Peter's. He went to prisons, hospitals, and refugee shelters. It is not in soul or doctrine where the gospel is lost. A Vatican observer once said, "It is lost when the church stops touching people." And Pope Francis touched them, literally, with water, with trembling hands, and with a kiss. So why does the kiss matter? The kiss was not required. It was not traditional. It was not expected. But to Pope Francis, it was essential. In a world where power often lifts itself above others, he lowered himself. He kissed the feet of people society often ignores. Prisoners in orange jumpsuits, women in hijabs, a man living with AIDS. It was not pity, it was reverence. He didn't just wash, he honored, he connected, he showed that divine love reaches even the most forgotten corners of human life. Pope Francis spoke often about building a church that is poor and for the poor.
25% of the healthcare in the world is provided by the Catholic Church. And so their network is almost unrivaled around the world.
He's so at home with the poor. I mean, he's joyful, he listens to them. And what really struck me also was here he has really brought in a revolution of tenderness.
Francis has made clear that during this holy year, he will continue to champion the poor, the marginalized, and the oppressed.
The area he comes from is an area with incredible challenges of poverty, of global warming challenges. He's the first pope in over 1,000 years who's non-European. He is clearly a son of Argentina.
Such a radical approach was not always welcomed with church circles. Critics argued he was being too political. Some said he broke tradition, others feared he was diluting doctrine. But Francis believed that the heart of Christianity wasn't found in rules, it was found in love and mercy in humble service. Who am I to judge? He famously said about LGBTQ individuals, a phrase that echoed the same tone as his foot washing. Even in his final years, as illness crept in and strength waned, Pope Francis insisted on performing the ritual. Helpers had to steady him as he knelt, but he continued. The water still flowed, the towel still dried, the kiss still landed softly. On April 21, 2025, Pope Francis passed away peacefully at 88 years of age. His last public act, just one day before, was to lead the world in an Easter prayer for peace, for Gaza, Ukraine, Congo, and all those suffering from war and injustice. Pope Francis didn't leave behind monuments or ridges. He left something deeper, an image. A man in white kneeling on stone, kissing the feet of strangers. In that image lives his message that true power is found in humility and true faith in love that kneels. May the church and the world never forget the Pope who bowed.